should hold a special place in our hearts. Simply because if the mission of doing what Dr. Martin Luther King has done um, have changed your perspective in your life one iota, then we owe him that. All right? Okay. So at the end of that part of that talk right there, he said he's seen the promised land. He basically said, but he said, I may not get there with you. He wasn't sure, but he may not get there with you. But speaking now above and beyond himself, he said, for we as a people will get to the promised land. That is very honorable. That is very bold. That is telling of a man who sacrificed his life for us. All right? Sacrificed his life for us. And if we as a people don't recognize that, and you as an individual don't recognize that, then it's something wrong. If we are only going to look at some of the things that you may consider in Dr. Martin Luther King's life as a mistake, or he was a sellout, or he's all these other things, then come on. Then you have not delved deeper into the man's life to even understand the man and the moves he made. All right? So there's a few questions I want to ask. As a matter of fact, let me just play one more clip before we dive into some of these things I want to ask, so we can open up and have a dialogue. Can we do that? All right, give me a minute. Give me a second. Man. All right. Let's try this. Here we go.
Three facts about Martin Luther King Jr. you didn't know. Number one, his name at birth was Michael King Jr. It wasn't until he was 5 years old when his dad, who was a pastor, came back from a trip to Europe that his church had sent him on. While there, Michael King Sr. visited sites in Germany associated with Martin Luther, a prominent leader in the Protestant church and who Lutheranism was eventually named after. Upon returning from the trip, Michael Sr. decided to change their names to Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Jr. Number two, a shortage of students at Morehouse College during World War II forced the school to allow earlier entrance. At the age of 15 in 1944, King passed the entrance exam and enrolled the next fall, where he played freshman football. 3 years into college, he entered the ministry. A year later, at 19 years old, he graduated with his degree in sociology. Number three, King was nearly assassinated 10 years before his death by a woman named Izola Ware Curry. At a book signing in Harlem, Curry stabbed King with a letter opener, narrowly missing his aorta. She believed that King was conspiring along with the Communist Party against her. In the aftermath of the incident, it was determined that Curry was in a state of insanity and unable to stand trial. She was put into a hospital for insane criminals, where she remained until her death in 2015. His recovery took many weeks, and as he had done in many other situations, King expressed his forgiveness for his attacker.
All right. Those are a few things. It said three things that you didn't know about Dr. King. Let me add three more things. And then let me add a couple of questions. So if Dr. Martin Luther King almost met his demise, all right, via a crazed woman who put a letter opener in his chest. How did Dr. Martin Luther King's parents die? I need the answer to that question to show you, to give you the depth and the complexity of Dr. Martin Luther King's life. How did his parents die? Then number two, how did his brother die? I believe it was his brother. I think so. His uncle. I'm not sure. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, name 3 books that Dr. Martin Luther King has written. Name three books that Dr. Martin Luther King has written. All right. What is the gentleman's name that set Dr. Martin Luther King up to get assassinated? In what year did the United States government admit complicity in the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King? Who really assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Thank you. So y'all are answering the questions. I really appreciate that. His mother was assassinated inside the church, actually playing piano. AD was found dead in a swimming pool, which was his brother, I believe. Mark Williams, you got to go deeper than that. Deeper than what's the individual's name? Do y'all know any individuals? We're not talking about that, Chris LaFrance, whoever you are. Come on, man. Follow what we're talking about. Are you saying that's the name of the book? What are you saying? You asking a question? You got to be clearer, Mr. Gatlin. Name 3 books. I want 3 books. Peace, Quan. What's good with you? All right. I didn't even know I was going live, Quan. I'm here. Got off work. I said to myself, I'm probably not going to be able to come on tomorrow. There's some subjects that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to honor Dr. Martin Luther King. So I said, well, let me come on. All right. Shout out to my man Chubb from Detroit. Good answer, Tony Rome. I want 3 books that Dr. Martin Luther King has written. Anybody on IG? Are y'all gonna give me some answers? Let me scroll up. Hold on. Help me out, people on IG. Al Malik, what's up, bro? I need 3 books that Dr. Martin Luther King has written. Thank you very much, Mark Williams. You on point. Hold on. All right. If everybody's watching that has taken the that was in the last class, that replay is going out tonight. All right. I said I was going to do it as soon as I got my first break. I got my first break this evening. Thank you very much for the information, Quan, and I'm putting it up. All right. Give thanks. All right. Series of questions that I'm asking simply because I want to put some things out there so that we can at least spark the interest of people that may not know these tidbits of information. All right. Okay. Charles Williams, what are you saying? Y'all got to make complete sentences so when I look down and read it, I'll know what you're saying. All right, there's about 6 questions I just asked. Hold on. Live Within 7, 3 books, The Radical King, I Have a Dream, and Letter from the Birmingham Jail. That's what I need to hear. So when I look over, like I'm look.
All right, people. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Freedom of the mind, January the 19th. Now, one of the thing I may talk about is the people that may set the balance for this month. And how we don't highlight the important things them. So it's so funny I come across this. His name is Professor Griff. He has a YouTube channel. Um, Again, it's not everybody opinion you're gonna agree on, right? And a person can say stuff to make you understand certain things, which means you can learn from anybody. Now, he's paying homage to Martin Luther King, one of the few people them, because again, it's the sensationalism that's everybody's gravitating to. Everybody's pushing for the next news, the next headline, the next this, the next that. Not looking for balance, just looking for entertainment, excitement. So him just highlighting Martin Luther King and asking these questions, it just make me feel nice. Again, there's people out there doing the right things, but there's not enough people connecting doing the right thing. So when I came across his program and started listening to it, I go, yes, this is what I'm talking about. The important stuff for us to highlight, the things for us that's important to us. So I'll continue let him speak.
Over on IG, I need to know. Like, what are you answering? All right. Thank you, Chris. There's actually 5 books out there that I believe Dr. King has written. See, but these are the things we don't know about um, some of the individuals. All right. Like Dr. Martin Luther King. But we should know. All right. So I'm putting the books up as I see them. Thank you, Mark Williams. Thank you, Quan. All right. Hold on. What's that? Let me see. All right. All right. So let's dive in. Let's see if we could put up some notable quotes, some things that we will probably remember Dr. King for and what he said um, in our later years. What do you remember Dr. King for? If you was to go back and think, if you was to have that 3-minute conversation on a bus stop or at taking an elevator and somebody brought up Dr. Martin Luther King's name, what would you say? If you got invited to speak to your child or your grandchild's class about Dr. Martin Luther King, what would you say? All right, his strength to love beyond hatred, right? What else would you say about Dr. Martin Luther King?
Okay, again for me, one of the things where I say, what I see, he's a family man. He believes in himself and believing in faith and believing in the people them around him. That's one of the things I look upon and say, this is how the man them supposed to represent themselves. Them supposed to set a certain standard. Manners and respect, King man. They're supposed to set a certain standard so others can follow. So when there's so much different aspect of Martin Luther King that we can be proud of. Again, we don't have to agree with everything a person does. But if we're gonna be critical of everything and not take out the most important thing that they represent, we're always gonna miss the point. So again, this is Professor Griff. Him have a YouTube channel, and just because he's highlighting, right, Martin Luther King, out of all the YouTube vloggers or whatever else, he's the only one who I see that's paying homage. So this is why I choose this as part of the topic today.
I'm not fearing any man. Okay, my melanin. The Memphis protests. Okay. Quan said, Dr. King said, we're coming for our checks. God damn, Quan, you radical. That's right. We're coming for the reparation checks. Alex Little said, content of character rather than color of the skin.
Yes, Kingman. Again, our knowledge goes beyond just
His changed
cooking.
his stance in reference to the Vietnam War. Okay. All right. All right. The Montgomery boycott, you would remember. Freedom marches. All right. Dr. Khalid El-Hakim, he hit me to something. He said to me in a private conversation, it was like, have your audience name the place, the cities that there's a Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard or a street. Can y'all name the cities? And I believe it's 13 of them. All right. I believe it's 13. I'm not sure.
All right. The man said, I believe there's 13, but I'm not sure. So again, you can believe something, but it doesn't mean it's the truth. It's what you believe. That's just one point I am highlighting. I keep on saying that. A person's belief is what they believe, and depends on how much information they take to process what they believe, it will be the truth. As we continue,
Can somebody look that up for me? To places of the American streets named after Dr. Martin Luther King. He says he's getting this information from the Smithsonian. Marching in Philly, Mississippi, and Cicero, Illinois. Yeah, that Cicero march was a hell of a thing, man. I hear you. Joe Barnes, you're right, bro. All right, Los Angeles is one city. Lansing, Michigan is another city. Newark, New Jersey, where I'm from. We're Dallas. All right. Okay, Quan says Dallas and New Orleans. There's one in Atlanta, of course. Baton Rouge. Augusta. Damn. Houston. Damn, there's a Dr. Martin Luther King. Brooklyn? Where's Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard at in Brooklyn? Cleveland, Ohio, Brother Sean says. Detroit, Harlem, Tampa, St. Louis, Missouri, Philly. It's a street and a high school named after Winston-Salem. Whatever happened to Arizona? With Public Enemy had the galvanized brain cells, and at the end of Chuck D's penning the song, by the time I get to Arizona. What happened to Arizona? every urban city has a Martin Luther King. Don't tell me Albuquerque, New Mexico has a Martin Luther King Boulevard. Come on, man. Come on, for real. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Chicago. Okay. New York, Virginia, Quincy, Florida. I don't know about Quincy. For real? Somebody got to send that to me. I never even heard of Quincy, Florida. Martin Luther King, Huntington, PE 29 in England? For real? Come on, Richie. Don't do that to me, bro. You're it in cap.
Wait there. Remember a Martin Luther King Street in England? For real? Okay. What me say, you see? The whole year nobody no pay homage to a man who has done so much to educate and uplift us in so many ways. So how can we have balance if we don't follow the people that must set balance for we on such a high level? This man have so much streets, right? Name after him. Yeah? For real, King, man? Ah, bro, I'm telling you, our inspiration we don't look at. What we say? All right. we could continue listen to a professor. What the professor talk about, because I say, you see, the things that can get us excited and moving or blood flowing, why does it have to be a negative vibes to give us that? The very fact that I listen to this man, I pay homage to a man where the man said me never have to come on for my YouTube channel, but me just have come on to pay homage to Martin Luther King, and him a ask question. And him just a reach out to the people them and I give information. So now me I get the information and me I share the information, right? So it's out there. This is what I'm saying. We can take the good information and put it in the atmosphere so it floats around instead of the good information is sitting in the corner. Nobody's paying attention to it, right? Okay, King man. You hear me I say? Okay.
Miss Moore. Arizona was the last state to recognize MLK as a federal holiday. All right. Did it have anything to do with Public Enemy? Setting that energy in motion? Come on now.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Well, I'm sure the Public Enemy song, video, and the energy behind it has something to do with it. All right. Portland, Oregon in the building. All right. Sky, what's good with you? I'm in Portland, Oregon right now, man. I'm trying to navigate this, bro. You got to help me out. For real.
For real, though.
It's outside of Tallahassee. It's a boulevard, okay? Bakersfield, Fresno. All right. All right. All right. It's the midway point, so I'm going to open up for anyone to come on if you would like to dialogue. I can actually dialogue today because I'm back at the Airbnb. I'm not at the school where I can't talk. Thank you all very much for staying with me and rocking with me and being that support during the week while I'm at work. But yeah, thank you, Quan. All right. All right. I'll put the link in the chat if anyone wants to come on. And while we're waiting for people to come on, let me say this here. Injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere. That's one of those Dr. King quotes that I quote every time I lecture and Dr. Martin Luther King's name come up. Reflecting on his courage, his dedication, and his leadership ability. Not necessarily as an organizer, because other people were doing the organizing. I think Dr. King came in and laid the icing on the cake, so to speak. All right. known for many quotes that emphasize the importance of justice, equality, and nonviolence. These are some of the quotes that I will personally remember Dr. King by. That number one quote being injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. But what does that mean to us? We're just not quoting wearing it on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. What does that actually mean to us? That if injustice is happening anywhere, all right, then how come anyone that's supposed to be about bringing the balance of justice can say justice?
Okay. You hear me I say? From the beginning, balance. It has to be balance. And justice balance. But people don't balance justice. Justice balance, but people don't balance justice. Because if you have your money, you can unbalance justice. If you're in high society, you can unbalance justice. If you rob and thief, you are unbalanced justice. So in the beginning, the people them who set the balance, that's why I say when I go through the 12 colors, it was understandable. A person can't say they are something if they don't do what they're supposed to do. We accept everybody as somebody when they don't prove that they're that person in so many ways. So as we continue, this is on his YouTube channel, right? I am just using him as a highlight to say there's good people doing good, but they're not highlighted the way they're supposed to be highlighted. Because it doesn't matter how you disagree with a person's point of view on how they look at things, it's not their overall thought on everything. And this is one of the things that we need to understand. And listening, if you listen, then you will understand. More than saying, well, he says this and he says that, and I don't agree with this and I don't agree with that. More than taking it and listening to the whole conversation. So this is why I'm saying I love listening. I will take the time to listen to understand. And if I don't understand, I can always rewind. And that's the thing. We're not missing anything as long as there's a rewind button. Kingman. Not him, the truth. Anywhere the truth is, there has to be poison for the truth. So it doesn't matter who has the truth, there's poison for the truth. So we have to continue because again, today is Leisure Sunday. I'm going to come on and continue with the topic of freedom of the mind. Balance yourself, balance your mind.
Can operate everywhere when it's going to be a threat to injustice everywhere. All right. Peace. This is Professor Griffin, of course, this on the Masters, and who are we speaking to today?
Aloha, hey, Professor Griff. It's the Sky coming to you live from the big island of Hawaii. We're on the Kona side.
Okay. And this is what I try to explain too. You see, when we're doing our thing, it's understandable that other people is going to want to help us. But if they're not helping to the cause, they're hurting the cause. And that's why I say, even if the people them on your CM team and them now play the CM game, they're not on your team. They're playing a different game, so your game is going to be by the wayside. So this gentleman calls in now, right? And he's a different race, right? But he's talking about his cause. And we understand that everybody has their cause. But they have to pick their time for their cause. Not choose your time to make their cause. And this is it with most of these Me Too movements and stuff like that. It's not our cause. It's cause that says they're representing us, and at the end of the day, they're representing themselves. So this, if you listen to what he's talking about and what Professor topic is all about, I'm gonna fast forward him a little bit because it doesn't make sense taking up all of the time with his time.
Of Hawaii. Okay. U.S. Marines marched on Iolani Palace and under
Okay.
threat of force pressured Queen Liliuokalani to abdicate her throne and her crown. And there's a
Wow.
lot of hurt feelings still to this day. Yeah, to this day around all of that. Yeah.
The brother must have froze. That's one of the reasons
Hold on a
why.
second. I'm back here. Your text message actually came in. So, but it's the thing, yeah. A lot of the indigenous community doesn't even have, and I'm not saying this condescendingly, but they don't even have the emotional intelligence to even speak on it because it hurts so much. Yeah, they just carry it with them, and you can feel it in their posture, in their tone, in their facial expressions, in their body language, in these things that are unspoken and uncommunicated verbally. But amongst all the emotion.
Okay, so my question, are we an indigenous community? Me personally, I think we're an African nation. I don't think we're an indigenous community. That's my view. If we were living a culture, it would be an African culture. It would be a Caribbean lifestyle, but it would be an African culture. If we're supposed to live according to how we're supposed to live. So I say we're not indigenous people. That's just something.
Charge that we're feeling just collectively between over here in Hawaii, we have an active eruption. Okay, like it's popping off. It's hot, like really for reals.
Okay, how you mean? In both indigenous. Okay, let me see, cause I'm gonna say I could have sworn it was Aboriginal people were called indigenous. Yeah, indigenous people are three categories of indigenous people in Canada: Inuit, Métis, and First Nations. The Inuit primarily inhabit the northern regions of Canada. Their homeland, known as Inuit Nunagat, includes much of the land, water, and ice contained in the Arctic region. Meat Métis people are of mixed European mm, are of mixed European and indigenous ancestry and live mostly in the prairie provinces and Ontario, but also in other parts of the country. First Nation people were the original inhabitant of the land that is now Canada, often occupying territory south of the Arctic. The Indian Act, the principal statute through which the federal government manages a variety of issues concerning indigenous affairs. So that's why I don't think we're indigenous people. So I don't want to be wrong. I'm just saying, okay? So all right, so that's why I said for his cause, that me said they have a different cause, right? And at this moment, right? He's talking about the indigenous people. Meanwhile, he's paying homage to,
right? And then at the same time, we got direct energy weapon attacks that are burning Shumash territory. I don't even want to call it Los Angeles, okay? Yeah, I'm Mexica. My family's from Zacatecas, but we want to like.
you see, he's telling you. He's explaining, yeah, I'm promoting who I am by him saying that. He's not saying, yeah, I'm with your, I sympathize with your situation or anything like that, right?
Redirect our expressions back to the indigenous languages and to the indigenous people who had the custodianship, stewardship, and guardianship of these watersheds and these places, yeah, where we all now like call Los Angeles or Malibu or Paradise or whatever, like let's say Shumash, right? Shumash territory over there. And so to just add that ongoing genocide, displacement, we when people talk about the law, right, and at the same time,
Hold on.
there is no hold on. I said there's no treaty of annexation. When it was subpoenaed, they could not only produce the original, but not even an official copy. So guess what? If you can't produce a document when it's subpoenaed, what, Professor Griff? It legally doesn't exist.
Right, exactly.
Okay? And so into this occupation where, you know, when you look at the international treaties that were signed by these different countries, they're obligated to uphold their agreements because they signed it, right? And so when we have this narrative that's totally preposterous.
Okay, and again, like, I understand, right? He's got a point, but the point that Professor is trying to get across, this is not the time for his point. It's our time. And it seems like every time our time is our time, it's never our time. Because somebody's always hijacking our time. That's what I'm saying. For us to focus, balance our mind. Because many times you're on the phone and somebody call, you're interrupted, right? And then you forget your time and space when you go back to the conversation. That's not always so. This is how it happens in real time. Somebody's gonna call in and they're gonna take away the conversation. Somebody's gonna come in the chat section and they're just gonna, whatever issue they're having, they're gonna make their issue become your issue and take away from where you are. So
Everyday life. And, you know, people want to try to debunk and deconstruct and check your accreditation and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, so again, the fact that he's highlighting Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King contribution to society, right? And he called in, and the issue that he's calling about is I understand is culture's issue, but we have a culture issue too. And if we never get to solve our issue, we're always gonna have an issue. This is why I'm saying it's not for me to go for the headlines. It's for me to create contents where people can sit down and listen to and talk about, have conversation about, not argue about, not fight about, not disrespect each other about. Because there's always something that's going to separate us from creating what we are supposed to have. And we're supposed to have more. I keep on saying it. We are supposed to have more. We're supposed to have, if it's temple, We're supposed to have our own temple. We're supposed to have our own library. We're supposed to have our own museum. We're supposed to have more. How is it that everybody else has more, but we only get less? This is why I scream. If we understand ourselves, it's gonna make it so much easier because ourself is gonna help us. Fighting against ourselves is always gonna take away from our ability. And when it's fight ourselves, it's fighting each other because each other is ourself. So what I did was fast forward his issue because again it's on his page, right? But again, his issue is not ours. I am just highlighting what's for us. But I just put him in to say, in this situation where we're doing our work, getting our job done, somebody's always gonna come along and say, whatever you're doing it wrong.
All right. Um, one of the other quotes that one of the other quotes that I think kind of resonates with me. Uh, Let me see if I can find it. Nonviolence is not sterile passivity, but a powerful moral force which makes for social transformation. I know it's kind of wordy, kind of deep, few syllables we got to move around, but this whole idea of nonviolence, a lot of people tend to think it handcuffs us as a people. You understand what I'm saying? And I think to a degree it does because, you know, those individuals that may choose nonviolence never, ever, not from what I've seen in my little few years on the planet, never, ever um, studied war, studied self-defense, studied how to defend yourself. Because as much as we've been nonviolent, no one else has been nonviolent with us. All right. And if it's going to, and I think he borrowed that from Gandhi. Gandhi wasn't necessarily nonviolent when it came to his understanding and the way he positioned himself in reference to thinking about black people. Right? His thoughts were radical, radically violent when it came to thinking about black people. Racistly, radically violent. All right. I know some people are going to take opposition to that, but that's absolutely fine. Gandhi didn't think of black people in the best of terms.
And that's what I'm saying. If the history is there, why can't we say what it is? Why should we say anything different from what it is, though? And that's what I'm saying. If we don't say it for what it is, we're not gonna accept it to change it. And this message, people with mindset are the most dangerous people because they can't change your mind. They can't learn anything new from what they already know and accept. But with mind fluidity, you will be able to learn something, unlearn it, and learn something new that's worth something. So this is why I'm saying what I'm talking about and trying for people to listen and understand so we can have conversation. So these are the start to everything for us to grow to the next level. So it's not just for us to talk about it, it's for us to communicate. I'm gonna do a series. There's this guy on YouTube, he does ants. He has like an ants population and he does like that's what I'm saying. This man YouTube channel has so much followers and this man is is documenting ants colonies, right? So again, we don't have to put things out there that we don't want to put things out there. We can put this type of stuff out there. And if you don't agree with these type of stuff, then fine, you can go add to the pile that's already there already. But the pile is so high, you adding to it will never make a difference. But if you add to this pile, it's gonna make a difference because people's gonna see it. Okay, let's continue.
Think of black people in the best of terms. Anyway, the next quote is, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Can someone please tell me where that has happened at? And has that happened in your life where you've loved your enemy so much they became your friend? Thank you, Quan. Glad you said it. How many times have you loved your enemy so much so that they became your friend? I'm waiting for the answer from somebody. Need I put the link back out there so people can get the link? Come on. I'm just trying to figure out where does this happen at so I can get a perfect picture of this thing going on. And where did this concept come from anyway? You loving your enemy.
That's what I'm saying, though. This is why I ask these questions, because who came up with these stuff that the opposite attract? In people or in magnet? These are things we don't ask question, though. We just repeat stuff. So when you say, okay, does that make sense? This is how I'm supposed to, but so just asking questions. This is why I love asking questions, because questions are details. Okay, so you get 4 out of 10. Okay. So how did you get the 4 out of 10? Easy. I subtract it. Okay. Show me how you subtract it. So then you know the details. If somebody tell you the light is out, which light? What street? Like, don't just give me vague things. We need to stop talking in vague terms. Something will make sense to each other. That's why I'm gonna say this is how I've always been. Reasoning with myself. I'm gonna ask myself question. I'm gonna ask people question, because questions cannot exist without an answer. Eventually, you're gonna need an answer to every question. And then can get right answer or wrong answer. So there's many different answers to a question. I need answers. Ah. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm like Kingman. Actually, no, it's so refreshing for us to think and understand with greatness. Because if we not think and reason, we just go in at the shell and just live and dead without live and explore and live again. Because once your mind free, you're living again. It's a brand new life. Take a deep breath. When I go through the 12 colors, I say, me laugh, me cry, me cry, me laugh, me laugh, me laugh, me laugh, me cry, me cry, me laugh. It's like, it was like, it was an awakening, and crying about the things that them full up your head with, full up your little space of balance with. So, all of them things that me did want to kick them off for a long time. You know what I say? But then when we get the 12 colors and I free my mind, me say me no believe, yo, move with that, move with this, move with that. Give me more space. Because they told you, oh, knowledge is a ledge. Meanwhile, I take that ledge and I stretch it into a football field. I can run all day up, I can run all day down, I can run across all day, and it never ends. So what ledge are you guys talking about? And what box are you guys talking about when I'm circular? So everything with them is the obstacle to your mind. So this is why I say it was detoxifying my mind to understand certain things and start just accept everything. And if you accept it, accept it to change it. Not to say, well, I saw it set. Well, once you say I saw it set, that means I saw it set in your head. And that means your head of concrete, your head of cement, your head of headstone. So I always have fun thinking. Thinking never depress me. Coming up with the solution and can't implement them, that's what depresses me. Because coming up with a solution, it's not easy, but it's possible. Implementing it always take more than one people. Levels. Okay, make we continue. I mean, make we proceed. Ah.
The next quote is this: faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Can someone let me know where this can be applied? Good answer to the last question I asked. The enemy within. We have to love the enemy within. Okay. And you're right, Quan, on that second one, purpose. All right, we must move like we must move with a purpose on purpose. Mrs. Moore, how do you step out on faith? How do you do that? Loving your enemy. That is a fantasy of a quote from Dr. King that does not work.
And that's what I'm saying, though. You can't agree with what everybody says. It doesn't take away from a person being great, but it doesn't mean that they're okay. Let's pull out the we're not perfect, because that's always emphasized. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. Meanwhile, I said a person get 10 out of 10. Isn't that perfect? What do you call that? 9 out of 10? So since we stress the fact that we're not perfect, we don't expect a person to say everything perfectly. So some of his quote, yes, we agree with. And some of his quote, we have to look at it. We have to ask ourselves that question for ourselves, because it still is opinion, right? And how we feels. As we continue with the professor, because I'm not one.
That does not work in our struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Okay? You said some punks are sleeping with the enemy. All right, Richie. Next quote. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Okay? Next quote. The time is always right to do what is right. And time is always right to do what is right. But can we tell that to our open enemy and get them to kind of adhere to that? The time is always right to do right.
Yo, that's not for us. That's
Hold on.
that's for the. I told you that must be for the
Okay.
enemy. Them.
I'm gonna go over the next quote, but can we kind of digress for a minute? Can someone name me any hip hop or rap songs that they mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King?
Yeah. Yo, King man, you know any rap song when them put Martin Luther King in? I thought I knew, but then I had to actually. I had to check. There's quite a few still, for real. There's quite a few. Enough people pay homage to him. Jay-Z, I think. Uh, was it KRS One? Uh, I did the list today. I checked the list today, but there's quite a few.
Can we do that? Can we do that? Okay. Okay. No, Naquan, not one song. Not one song can we name that mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King, and other than by the time I get to Arizona, how about a song that was for Dr. King? Nah, we can't even get that much. Not out all of the people that claim they want to thank God and grab onto their diamond crusted crosses at the Grammys. Nope, none of them. Nah. You said Tupac's Words of Wisdom. Give me the quote from Tupac's song Words of Wisdom where he mentioned Dr. King. I'm curious as to know. I'm open for it today. Come on, fam. Talk to me. You said Heavy D. The only one by Public Enemy. Somebody said Heavy D. Where was Heavy D? Where did I see Heavy D? Stevie Wonder. You talked about Happy Birthday to you. Got you. Stevie Wonder. Heavy D and the Boys. A Better Land, 1989. Thanks, Quan. Stevie Wonder. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Got you. But I'm talking about Kendrick mentioned him, I believe not in that way, but it was relevant. Okay. What song did Kendrick Lamar mention Dr. King? Run DMC, Proud to Be Black. Okay. This is just a question I'm throwing out there. All right. Has any rappers that y'all know of mentioned Dr. King in their songs? You said Sam Cooke, the change is gonna come. I'm talking, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about back in the day. Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, The King, okay. Wu-Tang Clan, Never Let Go. Okay, you're making some progress. Common featuring Will I Am. Boogie Down Production, Love's Gonna Get You. Okay. Well, Mrs. Moore and some other people are putting the songs up, y'all. Immortal Technique, featuring Chuck D, Brother Ali, and Killer Mike. Civil War, okay.
Yeah, just
Anderson
quite a
Paak,
few.
you said? A song entitled Bubbling, as you mentioned, Dr. King, okay. I was just curious about that and wanted to know, simply because when a young person watches this broadcast, they got to know. It's just not us, quote unquote, conscious people, old heads, talking about this.
Sure.
That Dr. Martin Luther King, now ancestor, paved the way and kicked down a few doors that we're walking through without even giving the man credit.
Sure.
All right. Next quote, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Dr. King. Another quote is, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Okay. Gotcha. All
That's
right.
deep.
Okay. All right, we only have 15 more minutes on the broadcast. I'm putting the link back inside for people to come on. All right. Anytime you want to come back on, I'm here. I'm open. I'm making it happen. We're talking about our now ancestor, Dr. Martin Luther King. All right. You said Big Daddy Kane. Word to the motherland. I don't know about that. I'm going to look into that. You said a song by Jay-Z. What we talking about? Now, I'm going to come back. All right. After we check these songs out. Matter of fact, let me grab my phone and check these songs out that y'all talking about. Peace, Lord. How you feel?
Peace. How you doing, good brother? Peace.
Nah, see it. How you feel, man? Everything good with you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, beloved.
Turn the volume down on your end. Just because it's giving a little bit of feedback, but we good. What's happening?
I remember a song called King Holiday. That was a good song.
By who?
It was multi-artists. It had like Jesse Taylor from Kool and the Gang. It had New Edition, Fat Boys in it. Whitney Houston was in it. Stacey Lattislaw was in it. It was like multi Elder Barge was in it. There's a lot of people in that King Holiday song. Came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to mention that because a lot of young people may see this. You understand what I'm saying? And we got to let them know that, that there are some people even before us and major artists and other people that revered Dr. Martin Luther King. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they don't see us doing it, they're not going to do it.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to hear it in their songs. Hell, no, go on. I'm sorry.
I hold Dr. King in high regard, brother.
Right.
He taught us a whole lot. He taught us that you could come to these people with love and they would still do to you what they did to him.
Right.
He taught me that, He's, said the hook to that song I'm referring to is said Dr. King tried to love somebody, which came
Right.
from his speech. That came from his speech.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dr. King tried to love somebody. And the results of his love,
Right.
But I hold him in high regard for the things he's done on behalf of our people. He stood acting on behalf of our people, put himself in imminent danger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He knew he was going to imminent danger because his life was threatened the first time he went to Memphis, but he went back.
Right.
And when people talk about Dr. King in a derogatory manner, I ask them, if your life was threatened the first time, would you have gone back and stood on the balcony? No, most of them wouldn't. Most of them wouldn't have done none of the things that Dr. King did, going into imminent danger.
Right.
On behalf of our people.
Right. Yeah, because in me kind of coming up, I've heard a lot of disparaging things about Dr. King. And then even Dr. King himself has said that he made a mistake by integrating his people into a burning house. So Dr. King was well aware of what he was doing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I think he meeting with like Messenger Muhammad, sort of, he got shown a few things among things he's seen himself.
A lot of people don't know about that meeting, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's just something people don't know about.
Yes, sir.
There's a picture that's circulating.
I have it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put
I have
it up
the
so
picture.
we see. A lot of people. How old are you, though?
59.
Okay, but we're talking about the 29-year-olds, the 19-year-olds. You may have it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think they have it.
Yes, sir.
Which is a very critical thing because, yeah, they need to see it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on for a second, so they can see what we're talking about. But where did you get the picture from?
I got it from the general.
Right.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's the one.
Right. It's just one of those images that I think, people need to see. That Elijah Muhammad met with Dr. King. And then shortly after that, Dr. King talking about he went to the mountaintop.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Dr. King also met with Malcolm X.
Yes, sir.
And I think there's a few other people that we can mention. But hold on 1 second, good bro. Give me 1 second. Let's send our energy out to heal our brother, the Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. So without any information from this individual, they're sending that to me. So I'm not going to act like I didn't see it, but you got to give me some more information. My cell phone number is 678-557-2919. Just text me as to what you're talking about, but I don't want to overlook that. All right? Whoever that person is. Yeah.
That's the question on this live. I'll tell you about that.
All right. So he's met with, I believe I might have a picture with him and Muhammad Ali. I might have
yes, sir.
A few other people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It wasn't like, but the way the media portrayed, like we all hate one another.
Yes, sir.
Because of the different ideologies and philosophies. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you see the attentiveness on Dr. King's face when the messenger's talking to him?
Yeah.
Look how attentive he is.
Yeah.
That's what I take out of that. That's what I take out of this picture every time I look at it. It's in my living room. I say he looks very attentive, like he's paying attention to what Messenger Muhammad. Even this picture right here, of what he's saying to him. And he said that he made a mistake, that he integrated our people into a burning house.
Right.
This is what Dr. King said.
Right. Yeah, he had made mention to that, and yeah, because we're not sure what integration actually, gave us. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can come on and tell us. I'm not sure. what did integration actually do for black people? Prior to that, we had our own businesses. We
You
had
gave the
stores.
answer right there. You gave the answer right there, beloved. It closed all our businesses down.
We had our own schools. You understand
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we owned our own homes. We had what, over a dozen Black Wall Streets.
Yes,
We
sir.
had our own towns that they came in and killed all the people and buried the town and flooded the different towns. So we can put cemeteries in their places. We've had all these things already. You understand what I'm saying? And then Dr. King comes along with a few other people, and all of a sudden now we integrated. It's 35 massacres. Damn.
You know, the integration that was the worst thing that we could have done, because going nearness to them did damages to our establishment. Wanting to go
Right.
into their restaurants and everything did a lot of damage to our establishments,
Right.
our hotels, our restaurants. You know, our essential services that we providing for each other.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, our people was convinced that their ice is colder.
Exactly.
We was
And then they
convinced of
use
that.
black leaders, especially inside the black church, to convince us of these particular things. And it's like, man, wow, come on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I don't like when they say, well, Dr. King was, you know, this agent. And I'm like, yo, I understand that they do the dirt with the people to get the dirt on them. And I understand that they break their tools when they're done with them. But Dr. King he was very outspoken and an unafraid person.
Right.
He was unafraid,
Right.
because no man who's scared would have gone through what he went through
Right.
and went
Right.
to places he went to. No man afraid would do that,
Well,
because he spoke about his death and saying, "I'm not fearing any man." And
Right.
on the mountaintop speech the day before he died, the night before he got assassinated, he said, "I'm not fearing any man."
Yeah. Exactly. And Dr. King carried heat, so not too many people know that.
They don't know about the deacons of defense either.
Yeah, but way beyond the deacons of defense, Dr. King, because no one can name you one deacon of defense. We know
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
King carried some
Yes,
heat
sir.
in the Bibles.
Yes, sir.
We ain't talking about the deacons of defense. People would say, what? Dr. King carried some heat. Yeah. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
Tyra from Pennsylvania says Dr. Martin, the King song, was mentioning Tupac's song, Keeping Your Head Up and Dear Mama. Okay. Tupac made references to Dr. Martin Luther King and Keep Your Head Up in his song Dear Mama. I got you. That was from Tyra from Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I did check, and um there was Jay-Z, My President is Black remix. So there was Jay-Z, Young Easy, and Nas. Kanye West recite poems dedicated to MLX at 12 years old. 50 Cent Smile, I'm Leaving. Snoop Dogg, The Game, Gang Banging 101. You have Common featuring Will I Am, I Have a Dream. You have Public Enemy, By the Time I Get to Arizona. That's what he was talking about. Kendrick Lamar, High Power. You have Ice Cube, Steady Mobbing. Lupa Fiasco, Building Minds Faster. Lil Wayne, Playing with Fire. Uno Miles, Martin Luther King. Easy, MLX, Boulevard. And those are some of the rappers who rap about Martin Luther King in their rap. Again, this man was a great man. He tried to set balance for others. But many people don't understand and never understood what he stood for. Many people didn't like what he stood for, didn't like the words that he was saying. Again, it's the message that he was saying that they didn't like. Because if it was anybody saying the same message, it wouldn't have been different. So sometimes when people speak, they say words really are powerful. That's what I'm saying. How we speak to each other on a daily basis, the frequency that we speak to each other on. It's not a level, it's not musical, it's terrifying, it's scary. So the only thing is either flee or fight. And that's what we live with on a constant basis. That's what I'm saying. All the platforms, they're just a platform for people to express themselves. How you express yourself shows the type of person you are. And it doesn't matter what's in it for you. You can't say, I'm doing this just because of this reason. It's because you want to do it. It's the people who want to change will change. The people who understand change already change because they know they can't be a caterpillar for them whole life. Them say, in the bad man world, bad man live and dead. But even bad man want change. It's just because of them lifestyle catches up to them. But if them went change before them lifestyle, and at that me say the moment, some people carry the moment for a long time. The moment happen, them learn and them change. Or them can stick to the moment and continue do what them a do. Not gonna make no difference. Until them eventually learn. And when everybody did, them always good. Nobody no good before them die. It's after them die them become good people. I don't understand that part there either. So just because I said we are continue with the theme of you must find balance, you must understand what balance is. And it's not everybody's gonna give you balance. And it comes down to the opposite does not attract. The opposite does not attract. So you're not gonna find a peace in an opposite. Now, I want to introduce a platform to that youth. I'm listen to him. Again, the people that I'm listen to, it's not everything them say you're gonna agree with, right? But the point, they can make a good point. Because me ask, if a madman tell you say your house dey on fire, right? And you go check and your house really dey on fire, he mad? So you can learn from anybody. So this is one of the people that I'm listen to on YouTube, right? His point of view is varied on any and all topic. But sometimes when the people then piss him off, he's not in a good mood. Now, you can tell a person, hey, if you change this thing, it'll make you a better person, right? They could either take it or they can disrespect you about telling them how to improve themselves. For example, the lady that was on the live yesterday, and people said they're gonna call the health department because she was wearing outside clothes. And I said, it's cold where she is. Because I work in a Jamaican restaurant, and trust me, If you not turn on the stove, you freeze like the meat. Yeah, so I was trying to explain to the people them that was watching that it's cold where she's at, right? And I'm trying to explain to her just keep on doing what she's doing, right? Because they're the critic and they're always gonna be criticizing. We talked about that already. Critics, who are they? What kind of talent critic have? Look, so anyways, this is one of the people that I'm gonna listen to, and this morning he was talking about the situation with Trump and Snoop Dogg, and how Snoop Dogg said he wasn't gonna perform for Trump, and then he ended up performing for Trump, and a lot of people get into it. Now, the point I'm showing with this is it doesn't matter the source of the information, it's what they have to say. And he has some good point. He has some good point because I keep on saying we fight against each other. Meanwhile, the people who are enjoying our fight is selling us band-aid. They're selling us guns. They're selling us ammunition. They're selling us everything for us to destroy ourselves. And we gladly accept that without understanding it's not helping us. When we end up in the box, or when we get boxed up or end up underground, it doesn't benefit anybody other than the funeral home and all of those casket makers. So he might talk about the situation and his point of view on it. And again, he's one person, he's not into politics. And I agree with him. Until we get together and agree that these people are not doing us any good, and we need to hold them accountable. We need to hold them accountable. It's not gonna change because each individual is gonna be screaming until they lose their voice. So he doesn't vote, but this is his point of view on the whole situation.
At the end of the day, you see Obama, you see Trump kicking it, laughing together, chopping it up. But then they got these two sides going at war, all these other people going at war against each other over what? Over this side, that side, that side. It's like pick a side. It's like a gang culture. I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, like I said, I don't believe in either side. I believe in whatever the right is to do for everybody. But that's neither here nor there. Let me say this, right? So Snoop has been getting dragged online because he said this. And I'm going to get to my point because you guys are going to go crazy when y'all see this. I still cannot believe I'm looking at what I'm looking at right now that I'm getting ready to show you guys. I still cannot believe this. But Snoop is getting cooked online because he said this. Let me play what he said.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? I was the one that performs for himself. So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first?
Manners and respect. Rosie stopping in. Big up yourself.
One that performs for himself.
Now, he said that, and that was on Trump's first inauguration and the first time. As you guys know, there was a young lady out here, beautiful lady, by the name of Chrisette Michelle that got canceled. behind that. She got canceled. Let me repeat this again. She got canceled, meaning her career basically, we're going to get back to this, to Chrisette Michele. We're going to get back to that. She got canceled. You understand what I'm saying? After she performed for Trump. Because all the community, all these people went in on her and dogged her. She lost her record deal. She went through deep depression. She lost a kid. She almost lost her life. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But yesterday, I told you guys last night, D.L. Hughley was going in online, putting up all of these different posts from Snoop Dogg, and then putting up how Snoop Dogg performed for Trump. And you got both sides going crazy online. I'm seeing it. The Republicans are, oh, you guys are, you're stuck on a plantation, and Just these, to me, they all clowns arguing with each other. It's like it's a puppet master sitting back behind the screen, laughing at all the people arguing with each other over nothing. When the main guys, they're cool. People got to understand. This is what I always thought. Remember about politics. This is politics. These people all be in the same circles. They all be together. They just have a disagreement on certain issues, but at the end of the day, they go behind the room. Hey man, what's up, man? Hey, look, man, let's go get it. It's almost like a game, a basketball game. I'm playing against your team. We may be cool. Let's go out here and let's get it done. Legal aspect. You got two lawyers going at it. Guess what? You're defending your client. Your client says he's innocent. I say he's guilty. But guess what? The two lawyers are cool. We're going to eat lunch when we adjourn together. We got two different clients and we're going to eat lunch. So these two are fighting against each other for what? When both of our representations are cool with each other. It doesn't matter if you go do life in prison. This is the part that gets everybody going. But let me get to the point. Because this right here, bro. So out of all the things D.L. Hughley posted last night, D.L. Hughley woke up today on one because somehow this came across his screen today. And I could not believe what I saw when I saw this, but I could believe it. As D.L. Hughley woke up and posted this. Now you say, what is that? And I'll blow it up a little bit bigger. As you guys can see in the corner, upper left-hand corner, this is the real D.L. Hughley's timeline on Instagram. And look what he reposted today. Read that again. A post from none other than Elon Musk. And what does Elon Musk say? He says, in response to Colin Rugg, who posted Snoop Dogg then, says anyone who performs for Trump at his inauguration is a jig-up ninja and an Uncle Tom. Snoop Dogg now performs at Trump's inaugural ball. And Elon Musk goes on his account and said the vibe shift is real. Crying emojis. And the comments are wicked. The comments are absolutely wicked. And D.L. Hughley put at the bottom under this post, wow, just wow. This how they do you. Hashtag Team DL. And Lord hammer. So now, Elon Musk and Baller Alert posted this article from where Elon Musk wrote this. Here it is on your screen. The vibe shift is real, baby. Crying emojis. Like, more than most people are assuming that he's basically laughing that these dudes are switched up. They talked all this stuff and then they switched up. You know what I'm saying? Kanye West, all these dudes were maligned. Remember this now. Remember when Kanye put on a red hat and went over there and sat down? They destroyed Kanye West. Destroyed Kanye West. Wow. And so now you have this. But I want to say this, and that's why I always tell y'all, bro, you will never see me get back into arguing politics. It's bullshit. All the way across the board. It is. I see guys on YouTube upset that Michelle Obama won't go to the inauguration. Bro, everybody has the freedom to do what they want to do. Who cares? Who cares? Did Trump go to the inauguration of Joe Biden? Did every other presidential wife or candidate go to all events? It is what it is. Everybody's not going to rock with everybody. Obama might be cool with Trump, but his wife might not be cool with him. It is what it is. It ain't no biggie to me. You know what I'm saying? Either way across the board. Either way across the board. They got people out here arguing, fussing, and fighting online. For what? People ready to lay down their life for what? Then you got the videos and you see Obama and Trump chopping it up like, yo, what's up, dog? Hey, man, cool. Then you see George H.W. Bush coming at jump and chest bump Obama in the chest. I thought these dudes had beef. Ain't no beef. It's politics, baby. And y'all fall right into this stuff. Now, you see this right here on your screen. Right-hand man says the vibe shift is real, baby. In response to Colin Rugg putting on his post that Snoop Dogg then was saying all these things about Trump, but now he's performing for Trump. And just to make it a little more diabolical, Elon put that crying emoji on the end of that sentence. The vibe shift is real, crying emoji. And Mr. D.L. Hewley, who posted this on his Instagram, has already in 1 hour got 3,441 comments and counting. And they're all scathing. And DL, as you see, said at the bottom, wow, just wow. This is how they do you. Hashtag Team DL. And DL did this because there was so many people that was going in on DL for how he stood and what side of the table he stood on. This, that, and the third. Listen, I want to tell you guys like this, right? I'm not finna fight or argue with nobody over their politics. You know, your politics is your politics. How you feel. Everybody got a different priority. You understand what I'm saying? But the way I see people fighting and going back and forth, name calling and acting like little petulant childs online over politics, over what somebody else believes or what somebody else will do. It's monkey crap, man. It really is. Everybody's supposed to be grown-ass people. That's a fact. Bro, listen, you might like vegetables. You might not like vegetables. The hell am I going to do? I'm going to sit up here and argue with him because he don't like vegetables. That's what it is. That's what it is.
And that's the point. That's always the point. Argument. Those people have conversation and then work out them policies because they have disagreement. That's what we're supposed to do. But we give up reasoning, we give up listening, we give up problem solving, we give up just to argue. That's what I'm going to say. When we listen to these programs, there's programs out there that we can create for each other to listen to so we can understand each other. And we're not going to agree with everything all the time. But when we sit down and reason and understand each other, we create solutions for problems. Again, this man, he reason on every topic. Any topic. Sometimes when the people them piss him off, he can go up on him channel and listen. And the people them upset him and him block them and all of them stuff there. But this me said, this reasoning where my reason, it's worth listening to. Because when we choose people in high position over each other and them good with each other, they're not good with us. And we're not good with ourselves. So where is the better? So make him go and talk.
I never understood that. But when I saw how serious it got, but you see, here's the thing, right? The people who take the most damage from these arguments are the people. When you see all these fights, when you see people going crazy and going in, taking this stuff real serious, I'm talking about to the extremes. And then to see how people's reactions were when they saw Obama and Trump sitting beside each other, laughing it up, chopping it up. They seen George Bush coming at John, punching Obama in the chest, like, what's up, boy? Like, it's the what? Y'all cool like that? Huh? What? Bro. I'm just saying, man. So now, let's get to this part right here. Because this woman was canceled. Canceled. Because the black community went ham on her because she dared perform. And let me read this article, right? Because people are starting to pull up receipts online, right? About how the different musicians and artists maligned this woman. And then went and did the same thing that they bashed her for doing 8 years later. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, right? Now, I'm not here to call anybody a sellout or any of these things in this room, because as I told you guys before, the one things that I shun away from the most, and I noticed this, is the most divisive topics in the world is one of them is politics. I'm telling you right now, you want to lose friends, you want to lose loved ones, you want to lose people that you were cool with. And this is the thing, politics show you right now who your real friends is. Because if a person will cancel you who's supposed to be your friend, I ain't talking about a fan, I'm talking about a friend. Based off your politics, they never really liked you at all.
Exactly.
But this is what we see. We will see that people, based on your politics, I'm telling you right now, you already right. It's politics and religion. I've never seen something that have divided people so much. I've never seen it. When there's evidence all the way across the board that no side is a perfect side. That's why the only side I ever pick is the truth. That's it. Because that's what's going to always set you and keep you free. But that situation right there, this is unbelievable. I don't know how they're going to react to this. But Elon Musk basically, and a lot of people feel like that's what they're doing now. They're laughing at Snoop like, you guys said, y'all, yeah, y'all said y'all wasn't going to perform for him. But you know what I'm saying? That's like people who was calling out DJ Vlad and saying he's a culture vulture, but then you go do interviews on his YouTube channel. Make it make sense? And then he gets the last laugh. He's like, yeah, I throw a couple dollars at you, you come up here and get an interview. I thought I wasn't this. I thought I was, a culture vulture. Right? Think about these things. But anyways.
And that's what I'm saying. Are we thinking? These stuff are happening around us and it's like we're not even paying attention. I said we can criticize each other, but we shouldn't condemn each other. We don't have the right to condemn each other and make each other be the worst. Because of the same thing where them condemn the lady for, are the same thing they end up doing. What's the difference? And how comes them get fi do what them do and just continue like nothing happened?
This article about Chrisette Michelle says this, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. It says, right? Neeson's mentioned Chrisette Michelle's plight as a response to the news of Nelly and Snoop Dogg performing at Donald Trump's inaugural Liberty Ball yesterday, right? It says Chrisette Michelle, who was one of the artists who performed at Trump's inauguration in 2017. However, a downfall followed her performance. After the 2017 inaugural performance, Chrisette Michelle became the center of cruel jokes on social media, was dropped by a record label, and underwent a miscarriage as well. According to BET's report dated October 2017, Chrisette Michelle revealed the negative impact of performing at Trump's inaugural in a series of open letters wherein she mentioned, if social media wanted to pull me down, I guess they succeeded as it pertains to Capitol and Caroline Records. I complete an entire album and my label decides to walk away from me. Capitol Records, I was quiet for a few days. I go into the studio and literally poured out my heart and my soul, and the label decides to walk away from me? Question mark. Right? It goes on to say, since Nelly and Snoop Dogg are the artists belonging to the same ethnicity as Chrisette, right? The author recalled what happened with Chrisette Michelle's in the comment section of social media pages announcing the same. Internet users took to the comment section of the Shade Room's post confirming Nelly's participation at Trump's inaugural and warned the rapper about ending up like Chrisette Michelle. The author also added that Snoop Dogg and Nelly must undergo the same type of treatment from the audience as Chrisette Michelle did. In a series of open letters, Chrisette Michelle mentioned thoughts of unaliving herself, account or miscarriage, and more in open letters. In a series of open letters describing what went down after she performed at Donald Trump's inaugural, Chrisette Michelle hinted at having unaliving thoughts herself, mentioning, right, Bacardi and X. She mentioned that she hadn't picked up the phone for months and was afraid to look at social media. The singer said that she has lifted people and been a part of Black empowerment and community activations, right? Yet, the community made her feel worthless by forgetting everything she's done. Further, in open letter, Chrisette talked about her dependency on alcohol and then switched to a more hopeful note about having a dialogue with God, right? Commenting on her label, Capitol and Caroline Records, dropping her after her performing for Trump. She mentioned, it's one thing to be a strong Black woman, it's another thing to be a strong Black woman who has to fight against the worst odds. I went from someone being revered and loved to facing putting out an album in the worst climate of my musical career. Chrisette Michelle also described her miscarriage experience by stating that her old habits of binge eating disorder resurfaced. And sometimes she drank nothing but water for the entire day after a day of heavy eating. She stated, I had a long cycle. Something came out of me. It was my child, the one, my love, and I worked on so hard. I never knew I could allow myself to be so broken that my physical body would break down. A miscarriage. Me? Question mark. Chrisette said she experienced the experience of basically of a broken nation showed itself in her physical body. It's apparent from her social media posts that she has been performing in places like Boston, Atlanta, New York City, and Nashville. She also shares motivational quotes on her Instagram account, and fans have often been supportive of her in the comment sections of her posts. It's sad what happened to Chrisette Michelle. You understand? But when I saw this, man, bro, how was Snoop thinking this morning?
This is heavy. It's warm, loads of pockets. I'm impressed with it. This is the best.
Seeing that. It's like Art of War. You say something bad about me, I'm gonna get you later on to come up here and perform for me. And then I'm gonna laugh about it. My people's gonna laugh about it. You see, right there, the vibe shift is real, crying emojis. Right? You guys can go look up who Colin Rugg is. He's verified online. Probably a political guy. You know. And then he puts up the picture, 2017 Snoop, now Snoop. Bro, this is, like I said before, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish that I didn't see all the people arguing so much over politics and who's doing what, who's going where, bro, listen. To me, it's like this, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. When somebody start talking about, and I want to give y'all a perfect example. The United States gives so much money to so many other countries whenever they have disasters and problems. But we can't give that money to our own community. It's a beef. I want y'all to think about this. It is a beef. People got problems and will scream and hoot and holler and talk about handouts to the worst people in the United States of America that have nothing. And if you help them, you're giving a handout to people who have nothing. But they don't have that same energy when they give money to any other country that goes through any other crisis. In the United States of America, in California, half of daggone Los Angeles burnt down to the ground. How many other countries came out and gave the United States relief? Where's all the other countries that I got your back? This sounds like a one-way relationship. I don't like that type of shit. No. We not finna. No. If we in a relationship, this finna go both ways now. But it's always went one way. Where's the aid? Where's all of the help? Where's all of the food? Where's all the money? Where's all the assistance from all the other countries that the United States have aided and helped and called their allies? Nobody cares about that. But they care more if you give money to somebody that's in the street that have nothing in the United States of America. Think about that shit. Put that on y'all mind, man. Put that on y'all mind. Don't y'all know that if they pay more attention to the poorest people who have nothing, who have basically no hope, no opportunity, don't y'all know what that breeds? That breeds more violence, more death, more destruction, more robbery, more crime. The less people that are in poverty that we're actually helping and giving a helping hand to, that decreases. That gives people less of an incentive to go rob you, steal from you, put you in danger. See what I'm saying? They got a problem. Some people got a problem in the United States with everybody having health insurance. Meaning that if something is wrong with you right now, you can't walk in a hospital and be damn near ready to drop dead and they deny you coverage because you don't have insurance. They deny you service. Say, nah, you ain't got no insurance. You dead. What type, is that humanity? But we're not arguing about that. Other countries have that.
Okay. And that's the same thing right there. We don't look at each other. And that's what them love. Them love when we not care about each other. Them love when we're divided. They love when we not pay attention to nothing. So if you don't have a balanced mind, that's what you end up with. Situation just falling down around and everybody's saying it's chaotic. But nobody's looking at the fine print, the detail of the situation. Everybody's just running in the wrong direction and don't even know why. Because most of the time, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. So we end up just arguing about everything. And when you look at what we're arguing about, it doesn't have no meaning. Doesn't mean anything. It's part of the simulation of fighting for nothing, arguing for nothing. And the stuff that really means something, we don't talk about it. Tell you from the program start, I just highlight the balance of us, the content of us. Tiki TV have him one channel, him have two channel, him have a merchandise, him have all of them stuff that we might promote. Again, you don't have to agree with everybody with everything them say. You just have to respect them when them up on them platform and their point of view. People, thank you for no time. Thank you for no like, share, and subscribe. As we proceed to balance people,